Representative Dauphinais.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I just wanted to share my view on, I'm new to this committee, so transportation is a new committee for me, but I am concerned with the procedural part of this. As I understand it, there was an agreement made, and now we're now reneging on that agreement, and I have concerns with that. As I understand it, it's because of the change of leadership on this very committee, and I think that that's a problem for me. And otherwise, I would have given the bill consideration, but I will be a no as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Dauphinais. To that point, I would just like to reiterate that this bill did receive a public hearing before this committee. The language for that public hearing was well discussed and debated at that public hearing. There were extensive communications and concerns raised that we would now seek to address. In screening, we had discussed perhaps in past weeks, we discussed maybe not moving forward with it. That decision has been revisited. We are still weeks away from our JF deadline. This conversation has continued to exist in the public ether. And so the chairs and ranking members discussed moving forward with a vote to draft. And I understand that it is controversial. This issue has always been controversial, but it wasn't a reneging of an agreement. I think that's an unfortunate perspective to have on it. I do understand that when we revisited this decision to move forward, folks may feel that it was gone from their consideration, but that we have a timeline that we're sticking to because we do think that this issue demands considerable attention from this committee, and ask to move forward so that we can put that time and energy into this bill that it clearly deserves. I do understand the concern, and I do, as a new member, feel like I owe you an opportunity to work on this bill for the next 3 weeks with us, and hopefully I can convince you that we've put the work in and it deserves your support. But I understand that I may not completely get there.
So, Mr. Chair, are you saying that there was no understanding that this bill would not be moving forward? Are you saying that that was not the case?
I'm saying that a decision that we had reached in the screening had been revisited, and we've decided to put this issue before the committee. And we think that that decision is fully supported by the timeline that our committee is afforded. We have until March 29th to conclude our committee business. We're taking this bill up now in full advance, full 3 weeks before our committee deadline, and we're asking for procedural vote to draft so that we can continue this conversation. And that's where we stand at this moment, and that's the request that we have of the committee, is that you give us this opportunity to draft this bill so that we can further discuss it moving forward. And you would, of course, have your full right and authority to vote no if we can't resolve all of the concerns that you have. We'd like to be extended the courtesy to try and get to that point.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I was just trying to shed light on the fact that there was an agreement, and that's now being revisited. We had an agreement, it wasn't going to move forward, and we are now choosing to revisit it. So thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Representative Dauphinais. And again, I would disagree with that characterization.